Hi, Michelle. Good morning. Hello, everyone.
Good morning, everyone. Hope Alabama's having wonderful weather and
Yeah, so far so good, Michelle.
we all set to start when everyone is ready.
Yeah, go for it.
All right. Well, good morning, everyone. Happy Monday. Great to see you. As always, we ask that you put your name and affiliation in the chat. Very excited for the Alabama Roadshow, where my family's from. Love it there and excited to hear updates. And I will not prolong the time. I'll pass it to our Executive Director, Matt Bogosian, for some updates.
Great. Thanks, Michelle. Michelle from Burris from the Century Foundation and a longtime BFF of AMCC, co-founding our little merry band going way back. This is our National Monday call of regional stakeholders from around the country, strengthening the American project from the bottom up. These calls, as you know, go hand in hand with the weekly AMCC update newsletter that goes out at the end of each week. And if you don't receive an AMCC update, just put a note in the chat and David can get you signed up, or you can go on the website. It's free. You know, we're open source. We partner with the federal government. We're delighted to be the nation's manufacturing community of practice in partnership with the Economic Development Administration of the Department of Commerce. And we're constantly, working to broaden and deepen the pool of stakeholders or strengthening manufacturing ecosystems in regions around the country. So please share that AMCC update widely and broadly, get other folks connected to it because we're really framing kind of the best evidence of what makes regional manufacturing communities thrive. And so we need a lot of engagement because it's a continuous, really a scientific process as we move forward. So thanks in advance for your continuing engagement participation. We do on these Monday calls, sometimes we have presentations, sometimes we have round robins. As Michelle's pointed out today, we are doing an AMCC Roadshow. You might be saying, oh, what's an AMCC Roadshow? Well, these are co-created events, and we talk about it in the AMCC update. And so there's information, and David can drop into the chat information about the Alabama Roadshow that we're co-creating with stakeholders. You're going to hear from them in a little bit after I go through some of the other things that are in the AMCC update, but wanted to make sure that folks kind of look at these. There's a lot of advantages we're going to talk about later after my kind of summary of the update of doing these co-created roadshows. So looking forward to hearing from Joe Paxton at University of Alabama, Huntsville, and others here in the room as we talk about the benefits, what we hope to learn, and what we can share to strengthen Alabama's manufacturing ecosystem. In the update from Friday, you'll also notice, if you're not aware, we have a podcast called Manufacturing an American Century, very cool. And the latest pod that just dropped is outstanding. It's with Mark Murrow, Senior Fellow of the Brookings Institution. And yeah, you've got to check out this podcast. When you're driving somewhere or getting exercise or you want to flip on the podcast, it's available on Spotify, Apple. You can get it off the website or whatever. David can drop links there. But Mark Murrow runs through the whole history of what you all have done over the course of the last 10, 15 years in building kind of a manufacturing community movement, bottom up of stakeholders coming together, and that's really fueled this whole congressional proliferation of federal agency interventions, many of which that we talk about here. So anyway, check out that podcast. There's information about in the AMCC update on that also. In the update is a couple of things from the Department of Energy. Lots going on there. They've got a new $24 million funding for workforce training programs for clean energy jobs. So you can check that out. David's dropping that into the chat too. And then RFI. RFIs are these requests for information that the federal government rolls out. And they can be really influential, and they're not necessarily a big burden. You don't have to have a big response. You can have really strategic response, but basically they look for information to inform how they spend money, right? So Congress gives an agency a bunch of money and says, create a program or doing something with that money. Well, the agencies wants to get feedback in advance of creating that program. And sometimes these requests for information responses that we all give from regions around the country or BFF organizations can help to inform. So anyway, long wind up to say that there's a new RFI from the Department of Energy. They're creating this manufacturing capital connector. So this gets at one of the big six of what we think is the thriving regional manufacturing ecosystem, capital access, right? So our manufacturers need to get capital to expand and update what they're doing. So give some input on that to the Department of Energy. In the update is a new report from the National Advisory Council on Innovation and Entrepreneurship. We have a lot of national strategies out there. This one goes to one of the big six on research and innovation. Like how do we better engender entrepreneurship in our region? We're learning about that, I can tell already here in Alabama, but every region around the country has got to really engender smarter, more strategic, more financially viable innovation. And so we have now a national strategy for that. So that's in the update. Our friends and BFF partners at the International Economic Development Council, they have a new website coming out, and they have 65 fellows placed around the country. The Economic Recovery Corps is what it's called. So I think that's a really cool, we need a whole bunch of folks doing the kind of work that we've all been doing for a while, and this gets a new generation of folks involved in that. So they have a map you can check out to see where they are on the map. And so I'm excited to hear about progress in that zone. Anyway, the AMCC update has a whole bunch of stuff in it. There's White House information in there, Federal Reserve Board, Small Business Administration, and many others. So check it out. Provide us feedback. You know the drill, man. Let's do the doing. So check it out and give us feedback. So with that, that's the summary of the AMCC update from last week. So I want to turn it over to Joe Paxton here in Alabama at our roadshow from the University of Alabama, Huntsville, to talk about how the roadshow came together here. It's different everywhere. I see Buckley Brinkman from Wisconsin, some of our partners up there in Wisconsin, where we're going to be in a couple of weeks. And these roadshows, I keep saying the word co-created, but that's really what they are. And we want to both share what we're learning from other regions around the country in terms of best practices on this bottom-up model of manufacturing ecosystem improvement. But we also want to learn cool stuff that's happening in regions from where we are meeting and getting to know folks. So, Joe, let me turn it to you and introduce you to the rest of the nation here, and give us a little bit about you and how you guys came into it. These guys are honchoing the Defense Manufacturing Community Support Program as one federal intervention here in the Alabama manufacturing ecosystem, one of many that we're already learning about. And so, Joe, you've got the floor. Yeah.
Thank you, Matt, and good morning, everybody. Again, Joe Paxton with the University of Alabama at Huntsville. We happen to be the lead organization for the DMC in Alabama, the Alabama Defense Advanced Manufacturing Community, and Brian Tucker here with us is our program manager for that effort out of UAH. We're on site at Auburn University, which is one of the core organizations, one of the anchor institutes, I guess, for ADMC as well. So we're thankful to be here at Auburn. Dr. Greg Purdy is representing the center here. And we got Dr. Brad Fricks from Trenholm State University. But ADMC is a collaboration like most of the DMCs are. We got a few founding organizations. You can see on the left there, we got a lot of consortium members in the middle, and even a more vast array of industry, economic development agencies and things that support the organization. We are just over 3 years into our 4-year initial effort. We were in the first round of DMC designated organizations with the focus on advanced manufacturing. So we're trying to promote the development adoption of advanced manufacturing in the state. specifically in the region that we're looking at. Of course, have an emphasis being a DMC on the defense industry, but at the same time recognizing that pretty much every industry utilizes the same resources, struggles with the same problems. So, you know, we're inclusive of all those different industries. Some of the three thrust areas that we focus on are technology development, technology adoption, and the workforce development that goes along with using the advanced manufacturing technologies. David, if you can jump to the Roadshow slide, I think that'll kind of give us a little bit more about what we're doing this week. So Matt mentioned, you know, we're in the midst of a Roadshow, day one this week in Auburn. And like Matt mentioned, it has been a co-created effort, I think was the right term, collaborative effort. So Matt and David are doing these things in different states. You guys have some coming up, some are already been complete. They hit us up for this Roadshow and started looking at logistics for dates and things like that, and events that were already in place, and ended up landing on this week. But it's really interesting, the experience we've had with it. We took a few events that were already being planned, like on Tuesday. Tomorrow we'll be in Dothan, Alabama, the southeast part of the state, with the industry resource event that we were planning. And there's a smart manufacturing workshop in Huntsville on Wednesday that Auburn ICAMS is conducting in coordination with the Alabama Automotive Manufacturers Association. So we're looking forward to that as well. But another thing that has happened with this, you know, there's organizations that we've been meaning to connect with in the state, other initiatives, people, things like that. And for one reason or another, it just hasn't happened yet. So one of the great benefits we're realizing from doing this Roadshow, it was kind of a forcing function to drive that. So we'll be meeting with some colleagues at Tuskegee University this afternoon, Troy University tomorrow afternoon, and then we'll kind of culminate the Roadshow on Thursday with a workshop in Huntsville to focus on how to improve the quality of workforce participants in manufacturing in the state. There's been a lot of effort in Alabama to grow the number of participants in manufacturing. So there's a lot of things underway there that are very effective and doing some great work. But we recognize too, and a lot of you probably are as well, even if you can get the bodies there, which is a challenge, but when you get them there, the manufacturers get these people out on the floor in these different positions, they're realizing maybe the quality of the skills and things that they have might not be at the level they need to be. So there's a lot of training and continued development that the manufacturers have to undergo to get those people to be proficient. So our focus Thursday is on how do we improve that quality. We've got you know, people that Matt and David have recruited in, people that we've got relationships with, people that we just reached out to due to the event to participate in that. So it's been a great exercise to get to where we are now. And as we start the week, very excited about all the things to come. Been a little bit of work with the logistics and things to coordinate schedules and you know, who can be where when. But aside from that, it's proven to be a great effort.
If I could just add real quick, one of the benefits we kind of have that we're experiencing right now, even today, is one of our partners is the Manufacturing Innovation Institute, NextFlex, and they've done a lot of work with community colleges up in Huntsville on the Flex Factor program. And we've been hearing what they've started doing with Trenholm State in Montgomery. But it was the Roadshow that actually got us connected to be here. So we're actually now in the same room talking about you know, those opportunities and those activities that probably would have been a lot more difficult to put off or just put it off if it wasn't for being able to connect on the Roadshow like this. So it's a good example of it.
Well, thanks for the rundown on that, you guys. Can you just briefly go talk about your Defense Manufacturing Community Support Program project? And I know there's an earlier slide on that.
Yeah. So I guess we can kind of hit our 3 Ps there, David. So I mentioned the 3 thrust areas, technology development, technology adoption, and workforce development. You can kind of see a snapshot here of the metrics we've been tracking since we started. We've got a 22 county region in the state that we've identified that captures probably more than 80, I would venture to say maybe 90% of the defense industry in Alabama picks up all the defense installations, big defense contractors, things like that. Since we began, we've been able to assist collaboratively with all the partners and members, 92 companies, providing advanced manufacturing technology support, trained 1,280 workers through various workshops and other venues, classes even for industry. 1,900 students trained. We've been doing some, Brian mentioned NextFlex, and then some work to create some modular manufacturing courses that could be offered to not only industry, but community colleges. And what's unique about it is they can be stacked to offer credit at four-year universities. And that content curriculum is available to others as well too. It's not exclusive to, in this case, University of Alabama developed that. And then that's the courses on the end there. So part of it anyway, courses developed. So a lot of impact we're proud of that we've been able to have. One thing that we learned probably about a year or two ago is kind of a need from a defense manufacturing community is to, one, be present with industry. It's really hard to get people away, away from their manufacturing facility. So we have a focus on presence, being there at their space. Promotion of not just advanced manufacturing, but also promotion of resources and activities and organizations, initiatives that could be supportive of industry. And then presence, promotion, and perception, which is critical. We spend so much time recognizing this problem, but trying to change the perception of manufacturing from the traditional dark, dirty, dangerous. I don't want to go into manufacturing as a student because my parents told me I can't make any money doing it. It's just a job and it's risky. It's just going to move overseas. It's dirty. Very much not the case in today's world. It's a safe, clean environments, very advanced technology, but changing the perception of not just the students, but also of their parents, the teachers, career coaches, all the people that can influence students' decisions. We got several efforts underway to help change that as well too. That's a little more about the activity that we've been doing.
No, it's great. And this might be a good opportunity for us to introduce Dr. Greg Purdy, who's here by my side. We're at this facility, which has got a great name, right? Interdisciplinary Center for Advanced Manufacturing Systems. And it really gets it what we're trying to do. This is complex system science is what we're getting at, and trying to unwrap what makes a regional manufacturing ecosystem thrive. And so having interdisciplinary education and operationalizing new tactics in the community of manufacturers is super important. So it's great. Thank you for having us here and inviting us. And you want to say a little bit about the center? Yeah.
Sure. Hi, everyone. Greg Purdy. I'm the Associate Director for Research here at ICAMS. So we're a 20,000 square foot working factory here just outside of the Auburn University campus. It's a public-private partnership between Auburn University, the City of Auburn Industrial Development Board, and Southern Union, the community college here. So we work on a number of different areas, but our primary focus is helping small, medium-sized manufacturers with the integration, adoption, and demonstration of Industry 4.0 technologies and other enabling technologies to help those lower tier supply chain manufacturers to be able to incorporate digital engineering and other associated technologies in their workflows to remain competitive in an evolving manufacturing marketplace. So we're always happy to host anyone out here. We'd love to show you what we're doing, how we go about approaching the demonstration of technology. And if you're ever interested, please feel free to reach out to us, and we'd love to give you a tour.
Well, and in fact, we're kicking around an idea here about having a quick look through David Van Sicklen and his computer so you can see what we're looking at. But before we try that experiment, as we experiment in the AMCC world here, let's stop here. David, I can't see any questions or comments that might come in. So if somebody's got a question or a comment, please jump in here. But I want to pause and see if we have any questions or things that have occurred to you that you might want to raise with with our Alabama friends here. I see Joe and Brian. I can see the head of the DoD Defense Manufacturing Community Support Program is on the call. Hiwat Gebermanian. So that's great, and I think it was great that you were able to highlight that. All right, so let me stop there then. And David, you've got the camera. And oh, Sarah Lee's got a question. Can you tell us about the common skills manufacturers are looking for? Yeah, go ahead, Joe, or Greg, whatever. Yeah.
So I can start and then Greg add to this. That question may have been driven from my comment about the modular courses that were being developed, and Greg can certainly speak to this with their tight partnership with Southern Union and the types of skills that are learned there. But it's what you'll commonly see in community colleges around mechatronics, robotics, CNC machining, PLCs, things like that. And what those modular courses were very, very common across any industry. So that's certainly skills that are needed. What they've done working with, is it Shelton State Community College and the University of Alabama, worked together to create a common curriculum for those topics. And they've done it in a modular fashion so that at a community college, you just take the course on whatever it is, and as you traditionally do it. At the University of Alabama, you would take a one of those courses that would be equivalent to like a 1 credit hour class at a university. Say you want to go into robotics, and you take that class and say, well, but this isn't quite for me. That's really cool, but I want to learn more about PLCs, for example. Well, then the next module that you take to be a PLCs, and then maybe go into an advanced PLC class. So over those 3 modules, you get 3 credit hours toward an engineering degree at the University of Alabama, which is, again, a common curriculum to what the students at the community college are taking. I would like to know, because I think it's very relevant, ask Greg to talk a little bit about what you guys are doing with Southern Union from their students being able to transition to Auburn through the Pathway to the Plains, but also your students that go to Southern Union for the summer to get certifications.
Sure. So we have 2 programs. The first is Path to the Plains. So it's essentially a pre-approved transfer program from Southern Union. If students take a specific series of courses, they'll transfer into our into the College of Engineering, but specifically into Industrial and Systems Engineering as at the junior level. So we've had quite a bit of success with that. It really helps to eliminate some of the challenges with being a transfer student in terms of getting courses approved and making sure that all the curriculum lines up. So that's really from Southern Union students transferring into Auburn to continue into a 4-year engineering degree program. We also have a program here at ICAMS where we actually provide a paid internship over the summer, where we pay about 10 students a year to go over to Southern Union to take a mechatronics certificate. So it's a 4-course series, includes precision machining, hydraulics, PLC and robotics class. But really the point there is that we've recognized that even at Auburn, which is a fantastic institution, especially from a foundational and theoretical level, there's a level of applied manufacturing skills that industry is really looking for, which is a bit outside of what we can provide to every single student in the classroom here at Auburn. So we really lean on and rely on the community college system to help upskill a subset of our manufacturing students as well. And in addition to having them do those courses over the summer, we also provide them some additional training here at the ICAMS facility in things like CAD, CAM, metrology, GD&T every Friday during that summer period. So what we end up with is a very highly skilled manufacturing undergraduate student. And then we employ them as an undergraduate researcher for a year after that. So we at Auburn really feel that the interaction between 4-year universities and community college systems is really an underutilized linkage. And so we're always looking for new opportunities to try and strengthen that bond and make sure that we're able to produce the best manufacturing students that the country has.
I see Amity Schuler from our friends in Memphis has her hand up.
Hey, thanks for that. It's Skylar, believe it or not.
Skylar, I'm sorry, Amity. Yeah.
This is all great work. Just a quick question for the modules that the students are getting for credit hours. Are they earning a credential or just the credit hour? And is it just on top of their required engineering courses, or is it taking the place of a course somewhere in the scope and sequence?
Great question. So for the mechatronics certificate, where we send some of the Auburn students to Southern Union over the summer, that's in addition to their coursework. So they're walking out with a mechatronics certificate from Southern Union at the end of the summer. So it's not necessarily replacing the courses in their core curriculum.
And then Jim's got a note there about finding teachers for CTA in high school. Yeah.
I can comment on that real quick. You probably got some
That's
ideas
the
there.
question.
Okay, one of the things, this was kudos to Auburn City, which I just learned about this a week or two ago. All the K-12, high schools struggle to find CTE teachers. You can't pay enough to pull them out of industry, and you lose them to industry because they can take the skills they've got and go make 2 or 3 times what they're making at a school by working in industry. But one thing that Auburn did, which I think has been effective, is, and I don't know, there's certainly going to be challenges with doing this everywhere, but one of the CTE manufacturing instructors for Auburn City schools is actually paid by the Industrial Development Board of the City of Auburn. So I think they're able to pay more by doing that. I don't know what hoops you have to jump through to be able to do that, but that was a unique approach to be able to get someone with industry skills into a high school in this case.
Well, this is a robust discussion, and I want to keep it going. So we're not going to do our little tour of the facility. I think this is too important. So Sarah Lee had a good question about teletraining for rural areas, right? That's a common struggle, around the country. What do you guys? How do you guys approach that here in Alabama? Yeah.
One thing that comes to mind, this isn't an all-inclusive answer, but I know some of the things that Alabama and Tuscaloosa are doing with some of their maybe PLC robotics type courses is they have kits that they'll actually ship to students wherever they may be in rural areas, for example, and they'll run through the course material and use the kits and then ship it back when they're done. So it's all remote, but still hands-on.
Well, one of the things that we've done at Auburn, I mean, obviously COVID was very challenging for a number of reasons, but it did quickly accelerate our ability to teleconference and do teleeducation. So if we're able to convert a course into a distance offering in one way, shape, or form, we can actually connect students, assuming we have a solid internet connection, to our virtual lab here on campus. So students can actually port into an on-campus computer to leverage any of the software available through the College of Engineering here at Auburn. So that is one of the ways that we've at ICAMS really tried to focus on working with machine tool vendors and other vendors providing some of the technology that we have out here to give us an unlimited seat license to the software that they provide, where we can then do distance training on those platforms, leveraging some of the infrastructure here at Auburn University.
Any other questions or comments? Let's see, we're looking at, can you video the tour and send it out afterwards? Oh, that's from Matt Fieldman. Yes, we can do a little bit of that. The tech quiz.
We'll send a couple of photos. I don't think a full video is gonna be possible, guys.
Oh, okay, fine, sure, David. Okay. No, this is
I can
awesome.
move the pictures around.
As folks know, and Amity, Skylar, it's great to have you on. Reinvigorating our work with Memphis and so many others around the country. We keep these calls, 30 minutes. We respect your time. You guys are out there doing the doing. Keep up the good work. Please give us feedback along the way. It's super important. We represent you all in trying to strengthen the American project bottom up. So that includes all of you. Everybody's got agency in this. So glad that you're here. I want to thank our hosts here in Alabama for what has already started to be a great roadshow visit, and hope you guys have a good week. So let me turn it back to you, Michelle, to close out the meeting.
Thanks so much, Matt, and thank you so much to Auburn University for that great overview in manufacturing. Go Tigers, and wishing everyone a great week and looking forward to seeing everyone back the same time next Monday. Thanks so much.